The best player in the NBA Finals is on the team that's losing. Not the best young player, not the best on his team, the best player period in the entire series, and his team is down 2-0. His name is Victor Wembanyama, and the cruel math he's trapped inside is one of the saddest stories in basketball. Let me walk you through it. Here's the setup. Wembanyama is averaging 27.5 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 3.5 blocks in this series. He leads the finals in scoring, he leads it in blocks, and his team has lost both games. The individual brilliance and the team results are pointing in opposite directions hard. This is Game is Culture. Real quick before we dig in, if you like breakdowns that actually show the math instead of just yelling takes at you, go hit subscribe. It's free and it genuinely helps. So click it. First, the dominance. It is not close. 27.5 points, 10.5 rebounds, 3.5 blocks a night. He is the leading scorer in the finals and the leading shot blocker at the same time. Carrying the offense and anchoring the defense is a two-man job. He's doing both by himself as a 22-year-old. Look at who leads this finals in scoring. Wembanyama at 27.5, ahead of Jalen Brunson, ahead of Karl Anthony Towns, ahead of everyone in the building. The best bucket getter in the series plays for the team that's down 2-0. That sentence shouldn't make sense, and yet here we are. And here's how alone he is. Put him next to the second best Spur in this series, De'Aaron Fox. Wembanyama doubles him in scoring, triples him on the glass, and dwarfs him as a rim protector. Fox sets the table a little more, but the production gap between San Antonio's best player and its second best is a chasm. New York doesn't have that problem. And it's not just this series. Across the entire playoffs, Wembanyama leads the league in blocks per game, and by the all-in fantasy production numbers, he has been the single most productive player of the entire postseason. Number 1, nobody in the league has done more this spring than the guy whose team is currently losing the finals. So let's be clear about the premise before we go further. This is not a hot take. By the actual numbers, points, blocks, total production, Victor Wembanyama has been the best basketball player in the 2026 NBA Finals. That part isn't up for debate. What happens next is where it gets brutal, because the scoreboard does not care. San Antonio is down 2-0. One more loss and they're staring at 3-0, a hole no team in NBA history has ever climbed out of. So the best player in the series isn't just losing, he's a single game from a deficit that has a perfect, unbroken record of ending seasons. Dominance meet doom. Quick interruption, because the next rule is the gut punch. Hit subscribe if you're enjoying this. I'm not gonna beg, but I am gonna ask. So hit it and I'll wait. And then there's the cruelest rule in basketball. Finals MVP is almost never given to a player on the losing team. In the entire history of the award, it has happened exactly one time. Jerry West, 1969. The league has never done it again. So even if Wembanyama is the best player in this series from the first whistle to the last, if San Antonio loses, that trophy is going to a Knick. 1. In over half a century of NBA Finals, exactly one player has ever been named MVP without winning the series. And here's the poetry of it. That man, Jerry West, is the silhouette on the NBA logo. The single most iconic image in the sport is a player who lost the finals. Wembanyama is staring down that exact fate. So why is the best player losing? It isn't him. This is the important part. Wembanyama is not the problem. He's doing everything a franchise player can do. 27, 10, and 3 blocks, both ends, every night. San Antonio is losing on the margins around him. The turnovers, the thin bench, the role players who can't match New York's depth. He's carrying a full load. The supporting cast is carrying less. Look at the actual leaks. De'Aaron Fox opened the series with a 7-point dud before bouncing back. The bench, outside of rookie Dylan Harper, has been nearly invisible. San Antonio coughs up more turnovers than New York and gets crushed on the offensive glass. None of that is a Wembanyama problem. He's the one thing on that roster playing like a champion. The supporting cast is playing like a lottery team around him. And that's the loneliest place in all of sports. Being historically great individually and losing anyway. Because basketball is 5-on-5 and for long stretches, he's effectively playing 1-on-5. No single player, no matter how transcendent, can outproduce an entire deeper team. Wembanyama is learning that the hard way on the biggest stage there is. But here's why San Antonio should still feel good. When the best player in a finals is 22 years old and on the losing team, it usually means the losing team owns the future. The Spurs might drop this series, but they have the best young player on the planet locked in, just getting started. You don't build around the trophy a Knick might lift this month. You build around the 22-year-old who'll be chasing his own for the next 15 years. So hold both truths. Right now, this month, the best player in the finals is going to lose, and the trophy and the MVP will almost certainly go elsewhere. And also, the best player in the finals is 22, and the rest of the league should be afraid of what comes next. Losing the battle, built to win the war. And it's not hopeless even now. The thing about being the best player in a series is that you always have a puncher's chance. If Wembanyama keeps producing like this and even two teammates wake up, San Antonio can steal a game, then another, and suddenly the math gets interesting. He can't fix the supporting cast, but as long as he's the best player on the floor, the door is never fully shut. So here's the whole story in one frame. Leading the finals in scoring, leading the playoffs in blocks, the most productive player of the entire postseason, and down 2-0, chasing a trophy that history says won't be his. Greatness and winning don't always travel together. This June, for Victor Wembanyama, they split. So I'll leave it with you. Does being the best player in a finals mean anything if your team loses? Or is winning the only thing history remembers? Jerry West has had 57 years to think about it. Tell me where you land down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe. We're in a race to 1,000 subscribers, so please join the family.